growing up in the 80s, man. I was indestructible. Is it Wi-Fi?
We're good. All right.
Hello, welcome into the first edition of Bluefield University Rams Coaches Show. Yes, you heard that right. This is now Bluefield University, formerly known as Bluefield College. Tonight we're going to be talking with head coach of the Rams, Mr. Coach Lusk. And just a couple of notes before we do get into football. I want to let you know that tomorrow night, the Rams ladies volleyball are going to have their home opener against West Virginia Tech. It'll be 6:30 at the Dome, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Also, later on this week, we're going to be meeting some of these Rams. Coming up Thursday night, it's Meet the Rams outside the Dome. There'll be games, prizes, music. That'll start at 6:30, and they're going to be showing a very classic football movie, one of my favorites of all time, Remember the Titans. They'll be showing that afterwards is all, and it's going to be a lot of fun for the family. But coming up this Saturday, it is the inaugural football game of the 2021 season for the Bluefield University Rams, and we're happy to be here at the Grind in Bluefield, Virginia, talking with the head coach of the Bluefield University Rams, Coach Dewey Lusk. Dewey, thanks for having me.
Well, thanks for having me. I appreciate you being here and having us on the show.
Oh, this is incredible. It's an opportunity for everybody to learn a little bit because, we've heard this phrase way too much in the past couple of years, unprecedented times. And the first thing I kind of want to talk to you about is this is definitely unprecedented, being the fact you're going to be playing 2 seasons of football in 1 calendar year.
I've been doing this 36 years, and that has never happened. But I do know this. It was the best spring football practice we've ever had because we got to play 9 games. Normally it's 14 practices in a spring game, but we got to play a lot of football. And the good thing with that is all those kids are back.
All right.
And so, we're very anxious to get back out there. We're tired of beating on each other right now. But we're looking forward to playing Saturday night, and we're hosting a pretty good football team in Thomas More coming in from Crestview Hills, Kentucky. So it'll be a great challenge, but it's a challenge that I think we're up for.
I think, on paper, it's one of those things that, you mentioned it, just kind of touched on it there a second ago when we were talking about it, but think of the experience coming back for the Rams this year in that spring season, shortened spring season. Of course, a lot of curveballs thrown to, your staff and kids, the fans. It was a different experience for fans seeing football. But the experience coming back on all facets of the field. You were telling me there's a lot of kids coming back that have started. Every person that's starting this year has started a game for you over the last few years.
At one time or another, over the last 2 to 4 years, there's somebody that has started at every position that will play on Saturday night. And now, there might be a kid or two that's maybe gotten beaten out, but there'll be a key substitute coming in. But we could actually put a starter at every spot out on the field. And we were talking the other day, and we said, man, we look fast. But I don't know how much faster we've gotten if you put a 40-time clock on us. But when you know where to line up and you know where to go and the kids know our system, that makes you faster.
Well, in attrition is one thing that happens with any program. Doesn't matter what level you're at. But bringing back some of your key members. I mean, like one individual who's just a really core part of your defense, DeMarcus Winbush coming back, who had so many accolades, set so many records for tackles and on defense. Talk about some of the players like DeMarcus and others that are going to be your key captains on all sides.
Well, DeMarcus Winbush, what a fine human being, and been an All-American several times, and he's lost a few pounds. I don't know if Savannah's put him on a diet or what she's done, but at any rate, he is moving and he is fast and he's hitting people. But, you can't substitute for that kind of experience. I mean, you've got like coaches on the field. They can tell you where to line up and what everybody's doing and where they're supposed to go, and that's just invaluable. Got Sam Curtley here that you'll be talking to here in a little bit. Another fine human being and just an outstanding player. And he's moving around as well as he ever has. And you're going to be talking to Antonio Strickland here. Last year, 51, 52 catches, several touchdowns. And, we were looking at the record book. I think Bob sent that out the other day. And our kids, since we've been here, they've broken every record in the book. I mean, there's every passing record, tackle record, everything you talk about. But it's those kids, and they've worked hard, they've bought in, and, this is our 5th year here. And I was talking the other day at the Rotary Club, and I said, how do you define success? In the last 4 years, we've won 16 games. Most people wouldn't define that as success. But when the previous 5, they'd won a total of 5 games.
Combined.
We're not where we want to be yet. But it's a far cry better than it was, and that we've recruited some great kids, and they've hung in there and believed. And so we're really looking forward to getting started. Can't look past Thomas More. We got to get ready to play them, and it should be a good ball game.
Well, that was one of the things I was going to bring up. This is an unknown opponent for you. It's a new member of the Mid-South Conference. Of course, they're going to be in the Bluegrass Division.
Well, it's not unknown to me.
Let's talk about that. What do you know about them, not just from film, but your experience?
The last time I played Thomas More was in 1992 in the first round of the Division III playoffs at Emory and Henry College.
Right.
And they were they were NAI in the late 80s, had just started a football program. Then they moved to Division III and made the playoffs in that short amount of time that they were in there.
Amazing.
They are a typically hard-nosed football team and very physical. And we ended up, I ran the isolation 13 times in a row in the third quarter, just mixed it up right, left. It was mud and raining and crazy. And we were getting 3 and 4 yards a crack. But at the time, the score was 6-0. And they were moving it up and down the field, but couldn't score when they got down inside the red zone. And by the, 3 or 4 minutes into the fourth quarter on this 13-play drive, running nothing but isolation, we scored to make it 13-0, and it was kind of game, set, and match. I expect nothing less this coming Saturday. They still have that same kind of, football team. They're going to be very hard-nosed.
A lot of tenacity.
Now, they throw the ball a little bit more than they did in 92 right now, but they're going to be tough. They got a very good defensive line. They got 2 tough corners, and they got both quarterbacks back. They've got a 6'4", 6'5" wide receiver out there that's a pretty good player, tough running back. We can't make mistakes. If we'll play mistake-free and play like we're capable, we should be in good shape. But expect a close game to the fourth quarter, and hopefully our experience will carry us over the top.
Well, that's what we want. You tuned into the Bluefield University Rams head coaches show. I'm Joey Jarvis, sitting with the head coach, Dewey Lusk. And Dewey, you mentioned it just a second ago. This is your 5th year coming into here. You've had long tenures at your other outlets. UVA, Wise, Emory, and Henry. You were there for a very long tenure. What's the investment been from the colleges, now universities, part into you that's made you want to buy into this program and build it what you have today? What's the one thing that's really made you want to stay here in Bluefield?
Well, people always say you can't use this as an example. Like they'll always say, but it's the people. And, I'm an old Southwest Virginia boy, and the people here are super, super nice, and everybody works hard, and they're trustworthy, just good, honest folks, and I enjoy working with those kind of people. And I was sitting in church about 25 years ago, and I told this at the Rotary Club, so if you're out there listening, you just have to bear with
all right,
me.
It's fine.
And the good Lord tells us we're all on this earth for a reason, and we've got a special gift. And what's your gift? So I'm sitting there wondering what my gift was. But it's to help kids.
Okay.
And that's what I do. And so if I can help these young men to be the best people they can be, then I've done my job.
So there's your winning.
Yeah, that's success to me.
It's success to you. It is amazing. So let's talk to the general public out there. It's one thing that Bluefield hasn't had a lot of, and we're building it slowly and slowly. You know, the Rams exude so much effort year in, year out. Let's tell just a newcomer who might be watching us online right now, what can they expect when they see Bluefield University Rams football this year?
Well, you know, in the community and you're doing the right things in the classroom, you're going to do the right things on the football field. Right. And one thing that that you're going to see on our Stanford guy, after we lost by 7 to them and they were in the top 5 in the country, and they come across the field and they said, we ain't playing y'all again. You know, and that's kind of the same deal. I think Bluefield was everybody's homecoming before we got here, and now they know they better come to play, because we've got some kids that are going to get after you, and they're going to play till the final bell rings. Now, what we have to do is figure out how to win in the fourth quarter. We've carried a lot of games to the fourth quarter, and, you know, we've won 16. I bet we've lost 8 or 9 in 4 years in the last few minutes. And
last year is a good example.
It's a great example. And so hopefully – you know, we're always talking about handling adversity. We're always talking about having a great mindset. And these guys that are in here tonight and our older guys on the team are doing a great job leading, and they're a great example of, you know, hard work and what you have to do. So hopefully that will carry over on Saturday afternoons for us to be able to win. And once it starts, it's pretty contagious.
No, it is.
And so that's why we want to get started on a great note this first ball game.
Well, you know, coming up this Saturday, you mentioned that Thomas Moore's going to be coming in. Kickoff's going to be at 6 o'clock at Mitchell Stadium. Let's talk X's and O's, short and sweet of it. What can we expect when it comes to the offensive side of the Rams football? It's spread football. It's exciting football.
Well, if you've ever been around any team that I'm kind of associated with an offense, you know, for me to say we ran the isolation 13 times in a row 30 years ago,
that's not doing football.
No, we'll put it in the air. We're not afraid to throw it a little bit, and we've got some talented receivers to throw it to, and Antonio Strickland and Jaquan Ebron. Those guys know how to get open, and they can run. We've got a transfer quarterback in, Nathan Hurstich, that we feel like can throw it pretty well. We've also got very capable Josh Nelson coming back, who actually started in place of Bryce Verbal last year and got the win at Union as the quarterback. But we should be very interesting to watch. We'll try to mix it up as much as we can. But it should be wide open. Defensively, Coach Kaklis is very, very aggressive. He does not mind bringing them at all. But that's how we want to play. We want to be aggressive, and we want to instill that into the kids too. So they're playing wide open and not playing not to lose. We want to play to win.
Well, and another aspect of football that often gets ignored: special teams. You've got a lot of depth on special teams this year.
We've got 5 kickers this year, but you know, Tanner Griffith coming back. We've got a young man, Riley Stubbs, that can kick it out of the back of the end zone. Joey Dales from Graham, he can punt and kick. We've got Tanner Wimmer, who's a presidential scholar, coming from Tazewell, and Landon Knapp from Ridgeview out of Clintwood. So you're talking about local kids. There's a few local kids.
So there you go. You got some from the region here. It's going to be at Mitchell Stadium coming this Saturday night. Before we do wrap up with you on this part of the Coach's Show, Coach, give us a motto, give us a thought to go out on before you take the field Saturday night to take on Thomas More.
Just win, baby, and go Rams.
Go Rams. There you have it right there from the horse's mouth. Not to call you a horse, but it's head coach Dewey Lusk. Be out there this Saturday night for Bluefield Rams University Rams football. Hey, one note for you. Don't forget, like I mentioned, that Thursday night is Meet the Rams. Going to be outside the Dome. There'll be games, prizes, music. Starts at 6:30. The entire public, plus the student body, is all excited. We want you to be part of that. They're going to be showing a movie after Remember the Titans. Also, coming up later on this week, it's going to be tomorrow night, volleyball, the home opener, as they take on West Virginia Tech at the Dome, 6:30 tomorrow night. Coach, all I can say is good luck.
Thank you.
And you'll be hearing me scream third down on defense quite a bit to get those boys fired up on defense. Okay, so I'll be there in the booth.
Appreciate you, Joe. Thank
Pleasure
you.
to meet you. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
Good luck to you. And
I guess now we're going to talk to some of the players. We're going to be talking to Sam Curtley, who is one of the players, outstanding young players for this young man here. Coach
Thank you.
Lusk.
Thank you.
And all I can say is you've got to learn more. Right now, still the university's website is still bcrams.com if you want to learn more about the sports program, how you can be a part, how you can be a booster and help out these academic programs for student athletes. Learn more at bcrams.com if you want to learn more. So, Coach, we're going to pass your headset off to Mr. Curtley here as we learn more about what it's like to be a player for you.
All right.
All I can say.
Take it easy on me, Sam.
We'll do our best. And I do want to remind you also, coming up Tuesday, men and women's soccer are going to be at Shawnee State. You can watch on bcrams.com at 4 o'clock for the women, 6 o'clock for the men. And that's football in other parts of the world, but not the football we're going to be talking about here. Mr. Curtley, first of all, how you doing? I'm Joe Job. It's a pleasure to meet you, young man.
Nice to meet you.
How are you doing? So let's talk about your journey here to Bluefield University Rams football. Now, you are a senior, correct?
Yes, sir.
Now, what position do you play for the Rams?
I play outside linebacker now.
Oh, gosh. Now, you moved from defensive end?
I moved from inside linebacker.
Inside linebacker to outside. Talk about that dynamic going from, the reads are so vastly different going from middle linebacker to outside linebacker. What's it been like for you transitioning from that position to the other?
It hasn't been too much of an issue for me. It's a little different. I'm playing in a lot more space.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a run read first anymore. I'm more of a pass first.
Really?
Yeah, but the transition hasn't been too bad for me considering I knew the entire defense to start with. I knew the reads. I knew what you're supposed to look for. And it hasn't been that bad.
How's your level of physicality been this year? Considering you played football just a few months ago, you played you played a full schedule back this spring, which was just unprecedented. You don't hear of that, but what's it like trying to play that much football in a short amount of time in a 12-month calendar year?
It hasn't been too bad for me. I'm feeling pretty good right now. I did tear my meniscus coming into the season, so I missed 2 games at the start of the season.
Right.
And then once I got into it, I was healthy all season, and I haven't had any issues since then.
Now, where are you from originally?
I'm from Bedford County.
Bedford County. So
Yes,
it's
sir.
not too far of a haul here
No,
to
not
come
too
over
bad.
to Bluefield. What do you think about this small town atmosphere, but having such a big, think about the alumni that have come to Bluefield College, now Bluefield University. And what's it like having that kind of exposure and frankly, a lot of pressure being on you being a senior leader here on the Bluefield Rams football team?
Oh, it's been awesome. I love it here. It's a lot like home from
Mm-hmm.
Bedford County. I'm near Smith Mountain Lake, Franklin County, and all that.
Beautiful.
So it hasn't changed much for me in that sense, but I'm not feeling much pressure. I just go out there and I do what I'm supposed to do, and I try to be the best leader that I can be.
Well, being a leader in the locker room, it's got a lot of responsibility.
Yeah, it does.
How do you deal with that responsibility? And how do you deal with some of the young men that are coming in to fill roles on the Rams now? But how do you lead in the locker room? What is your one key? What are some of your keys to being a leader on the football team?
I just try to be who I am and try to pass my values and what I feel that should be the values of the other people on this team, the culture, the physicality when we play, all of that, and even being being off of the field in the classroom. I try to do the best I can there, and I try to help everybody else get the same grades that I think they should get.
So let's say we've got a football card of you. It's got your picture, got your number on the back. What would be your motto as far as a football player for Mr. Curtley? What would it be like to be in your head? What's your go-to motto it's just your one quote that you can always go to and is, like on senior day when we'll be introducing you? What's that one motto we're going to be hearing about you?
As far as football goes, is chase the football. If you chase the football, you're not going to have any issues.
Talk about the scheme this year. I know you've probably been watching a lot of film on this school that's coming up, Thomas More. What's your responsibility on defense going to be like this year? Who are you going to be keying on from that team?
I'm going to be a a pass first. They've got a lot of good receivers. There's no one we can really pick out. They've got that 6'3", 6'4" kid. But
how do you adjust to that? Not picking on you, but you're not 6'3", 6'4".
Yeah.
How do you make up for that size difference when it comes to the over-the-top pass? How do you plan on defending that?
Well, Coach Cack's got great schemes in everything we do. accounts for that, and we have help when we need help. And, we just have help when we need help.
Now, there's another player we're going to be talking to here in a minute that's on your side of the football, Mr. Winbush, who set so many records, for linebacker. And you played on the inside with him.
Yes, sir.
Define what it's like to be hit or to hear him hit somebody out there on the field.
I mean, it's awesome. I love being right there when he hits somebody. I love hitting somebody with him.
That's what I like to hear.
I don't ever have to worry about him. He always does what he's supposed
That's
to do.
good.
He's a great football player.
What's your anticipation for Saturday? Not prediction, but what's your anticipation? Are nerves getting to you?
No, not really.
Not now.
No.
I mean, here being your senior year, it's been quite a journey for you.
Yep. I mean, everybody knows what to do. If we do what we're supposed to do, we shouldn't have any issues on Saturday.
Well, we look forward to it. And for you in the short term, man, you've got a lot coming up this fall. You said you were talking off camera a little while ago. You're going to be graduating this December.
Yes, sir.
You excited?
Oh, yeah.
What are you getting? What's your degree going to be in?
It's in criminal justice.
Oh, wow. So what's your goals after football and after school?
Well, I've actually decided to become a Navy SEAL.
Hey, come on. That deserves a big round of applause. You're going to enlist.
Yes, sir.
That's incredible. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Good to
So
meet
before we get out there Saturday evening, let's draw some fans in. Tell them what you plan on doing to that other side of what you plan on doing to that team that's coming into Mitchell Stadium
I
Saturday
plan
night.
on having the game of my life and do what I'm supposed to do and doing everything I can to help the team.
There we go, Mr. Curtley on the defensive side. Now, outside linebacker for your Bluefield University Rams. Good luck to you.
Appreciate it.
I would say break a leg, but I am not going to say that to you, young man.
That's
Just go
already
out-
happened once.
Go out and get him and tear him up. That's all I can say. You're going to see Mr. Curtley. You're going to see some of the other players we'll be talking to here shortly. Learn more about Mr. Curtley and all the other Rams. Like we've mentioned, you can learn more about any program at the university at bcrams.com. We encourage you to check them. Be sure to follow us on all our social media. You've got a Twitter, Facebook, YouTube as well. And it's always a great outlet right there. Use the one portal, bcrams.com, to get all the information on football, volleyball, basketball, and all sports we've got. And soon it'll be transitioning to Bluefield, BURams.com. It's nice to meet you. Good luck.
Thank you. Appreciate
Have
it.
fun. Really nice meeting you. And now we're going to be talking to somebody that's on the other side of the football, the highlight reel, a man who's got stickum on his fingers constantly. Please introduce yourself. Mr. Strickland, what's your first name?
Antonio Strickland.
Antonio Strickland, a name that I yelled over the PA so many times last year. Young man had some highlight reel catches for the Bluefield Rams. And Mr. Strickland coming in, you are the epitome of you're what the kids want to be when they play in Madden football.
I try to be.
You know, when they defense, no offense, guys. We love it with the defense. We love to see a great sack, a good tackle, a fumble. We love that. But the kids of this generation, they want to be you. And having that transition last year, you had to go to was it 2 or 3 different quarterbacks last year? What was that like for you in the offensive side of the ball last year, having so many different field generals, for lack of a better term? What was it like trying to be a receiver in that offense last year?
It's just another day in the office. You just got to approach it day by day. Just motivate them to do their best because, at the end of the day, they are under a lot of pressure, but you want to try to motivate them to
Well, because you're
succeed.
you're the one that kind of helps them. I mean,
Yes, sir.
And when I was joking about, look at this young man's hands. My goodness, if you could not get a pass to him and him catch it, there's something wrong. So, that's the one thing you've got a lot of assignments in your head. Route running, the route tree has got to be something that you fall asleep thinking about, you wake up
yes,
thinking
sir.
about.
Yes, sir, every day.
What's the preparation like for a receiver in the Bluefield University Rams football?
Just come into every day wanting to do better and learn something new. Don't be afraid to failure, like mess up.
Because you're human.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody's going to mess up, but at the end of the day, it's who's going to overcome adversity and who want to be better at the end of the day.
What's your short and off season been like for you personally? What have you been doing since the last game back in the spring until now?
Running after my son a lot.
How old is your son?
He's 2.
Oh,
2, but at the end of the day,
gracious.
I'm still in the gym trying to work and get better at my craft. That's always the first thing, but I always want to be with my
Now,
son too.
you're the epitome of this roster because, talking about you're a father, you're also going to school, and you're a football player, and it's not necessarily in that order. It depends on what day of the week
know,
it is
right?
and how it changes so much for you. Talk about how being a father and having that toddler kind of transitions you to the football field. What lessons can you take from being a dad to being a football player, and then from being a football player to a dad?
Just composure, a lot of composure. Because at the end of the day, you're going to want to scream and get mad when something hits the fan, but at the end of the day, you got to understand what's in front of you. Because at the end of the day, nothing is going to be easy. And, like, if you want it, you're going to push for it.
You got to work for it.
Yes, sir. Yes,
That's
sir.
awesome.
Yes, sir.
Coach Lusk and was mentioning that we're going to see excitement when it comes to offensive football.
Of course,
But
we're going to put points on the board.
that's the goal.
Yes, sir.
I mean, and I can't really emphasize it anymore to the public that's out there maybe listening or watching right now. This is exciting football, especially to be, I mean, not being derogatory at all for our area, but this is a small town when it comes to the grand scheme of college football. But this is exciting football when they get down on Mitchell Stadium.
Yes, sir, it is.
And tonight, what's your relationship been like with the new quarterback we brought in from the transfer? What's your all's chemistry been like?
It's real good. At the end of the day, like I said, I had to be patient with him because at the end of the day, he got to learn the scheme and everything. He got to learn everybody's strength and what they're good at. And he's from down south, and I'm from Georgia too. So, you know, at the end of the day, we both want to win. And he got that drive, and I know at the end of the day, if he got to put it on his back, he'll do it. And that's the same thing I'll do at the end of the day for my team.
You know, I asked Mr. Curtley his motto, you know, coming up on senior day. What will eventually be your motto when we talk about you and your, you know, who are you when it comes to life and football?
Somebody that got to see it through. You got to see it through.
That's a way to look at it.
Yes, sir.
That's it. What's your number? Please, I don't have a roster in front of me.
Oh, 19.
You got to be looking for 19, folks.
Yes, sir.
I'm telling you, when you see these highlight reels for the Rams coming up this weekend, there you go. You're the poster boy. If you can see the Rams schedule, you got to check out. You're going to be the poster boy. And all I can say is posterize some of these Thomas More guys. Please, let's get you in the end zone.
Yes,
We'll
sir.
do that. Wait, hey, what's your son's name?
Grayson Maverick.
Hi, Grayson. It's nice to meet you, young man. You got a great dad, and you're a great football player. I'm really looking forward to calling your number a lot this year when it comes to getting past that white line and getting into the end zone. There you go, Antonio
Nice
Strickland,
to meet you
receiver for the Bluefield Rams. Learn more about him and, of course, all the other players here at Bluefield University online at bcrams.com. And we've been mentioning this gentleman quite a bit, a senior leader, an award winner who's just got so many accolades, but the one that I think we need to bestow upon our next guest here on the Bluefield Rams Coaches Show. He's just a gentleman. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show, DeMarcus Winbush, your linebacker for the Bluefield University Rams. How you doing, young man?
Doing well. How about yourself?
You know, I'm alive and kicking. And, you know, I was grinning ear to ear when I heard the news that you were going to have your 5th year of eligibility.
Yes, sir. I've been here for a long time. I've actually been here longer than Coach Lusk. So, I mean, it's definitely been an experience seeing guys come and go. But
the one constant, and Coach Lusk kind of mentioned it too when we were talking to him earlier, it's hard-nosed football. And you're the epitome of that. I mean, not just you. I'm talking about the whole defense, but it kind of flows through you. You're a great example for that. And what's that pressure like being a senior leader and having to be, you know, the focal point of the defense?
right. Really, the inside linebackers, they're the quarterbacks on the field on the defense side of the ball. The best thing for us to do is to stay calm and keep the team together because it can get out of hand quick.
Can I just say something?
Yes, sir.
You're too soft-spoken.
So-
to be as mean as you are on that football field,
I mean-
you're so calm and collected. Is there like some form of Zen meditation going on with you when it comes to life and football?
I try to stay calm outside of football because it's not all about football. I mean, I love football.
Of course you do.
But I can't let football take over my life.
That's a good way to look at it.
Yes.
You don't let the chaos
Yes,
of the football field, the 4 quarters you're playing this Saturday, you don't
can
let
be
that
intense.
overtake everything else.
Yes, sir.
So what was it like making that decision to come back?
It was definitely a challenge. I had to talk to my parents, my girl, the coaching staff. It was just a lot of things that were coming in and out, and Bluefield University was my best decision to come back and start on my master's.
Which you are working on. What
Education.
That's awesome.
I
So
know.
your future's going to be in teaching kids.
Yes,
so
sir.
I mean, so how are you kind of applying your school lessons to lessons on the field, because you are kind of a de facto coach on the field?
Right. All I say is that you want to trust in your dreams. Don't ever let anybody tell you that you can't do something, because I've been told that, but I proved them wrong because I made it this far.
That you have. So many of those records have been set by you, but it's not an individual effort with you, is it?
No, sir. 'Cause if
I've
it
never
wasn't for
heard
my-
you say me when
No,
it comes
sir.
to that.
Because if it wasn't for the defense, I wouldn't be able to make the tackles that I make
Right.
or make the plays that I make.
Now the scheme for Bluefield, it's typical. Do we go 4-3 stack with Bluefield,
We're
or
3-4.
3-4
3-4.
defense?
But our base is 3-4, so I mean,
Yeah, and that's a lot of responsibility for you, and it's a lot of reads from all 11 guys on that side of the field, isn't it?
yes, sir.
I mean, it's just too much to think. How do you process all that information? Seriously, when you see, when you line up, you've got the 11 on the other side, you guys are here. What is your process from before the snap of the ball? You're out of the huddle, you've clapped, you've got your scheme, you know where you're going. What is your actual responsibility? How do you get all those guys lined up to where they need to be?
Usually we get the plays from the coaches, and then our job is to have the second move ready, because if they switch their offense, we got to be ready to move at the snap of a finger.
It's like
So-
playing chess.
Almost. You just got to be ahead of your opponent at all costs.
I don't know how you can handle and process that kind of
It's
information.
not chemistry class, I can tell you that. But
Wait,
So-
and how long have you been playing football? Like, when did you actually start? What age did you actually get into football?
well, I don't know the exact age, but in 2005 I started playing, and we're in 21 now.
and look
so,
where you're at now.
Yeah. So
Talk about that journey. What's it been like for you from start to now?
it's been a bumpy journey, because I know my senior year in high school, I actually cracked my 5th metatarsal, so it kind of put me down. So I didn't play 5 games in high school. So, and then I came to college and I ended up completely breaking it, and it put me on a minor setback, and my mental stage wasn't all the way there. So I had my coaches, I had my trainers, I had friends, family, all in my ear talking about, do not give up, don't give up, keep going, keep moving forward. So I just had to trust the process to where I could come back and look where I'm at now.
Well, in the program like Bluefield, I mean, it's still in its infancy when you compare it to other schools out there. But look at the success, not just individually, but your team has had in your tenure here.
Right. And it was definitely different with the coaches coming in, because me and Coach Cack, we didn't see eye to eye too well when we first met. My grades weren't all the way there, but I ended up getting those back on track. And I ended up telling Coach Lusk when I was in the penalty box that I was going to be a starting linebacker. He was like, you're not going to make it out of the penalty box. He was like, you got to make me a believer. And, I ended up making him a believer. And look who
where
is the
you're at
starting
now.
linebacker.
We're talking with DeMarcus Winbush, starting linebacker and captain
Yes, sir.
of this Bluefield University Rams football team. And, young man, let's talk about your journey and how faith has really played into it.
Right.
Your faith, you're a very strong, faithful young man. Talk about faith and how important it is to you when it gets to getting on the football field.
Man, you got to trust faith with all you have, because once you lose your faith, you don't have anything else. You don't have anything to keep you driven to keep going forward. And it's just, my faith is going to be strong regardless.
That is evident with you
So-
because I'll be honest. When you walk in, you are a larger than life individual. So it is really an honor to meet you finally. I've said your name so many times, and then talked about it. In on the tackle, DeMarcus Winbush. In on the tackle, DeMarcus Winbush, and homecoming king, DeMarcus
Yes, sir.
Winbush. Is it okay to not have to have that crown anymore?
Yes, sir, it is.
Okay, let's talk about that.
Just pass it on to someone else.
Well, all I can say is, we mentioned it earlier. I asked the other players, what's your motto in life and football?
Fear no man but God.
That's the way to look at it. And, of course, when you're on the football field, fear this young man, DeMarcus Winbush, captain for the Bluefield University Rams. Go get him Saturday night. Let's get you a win Saturday night. Nice to meet you, young man.
Nice to meet you, too.
You can learn more about DeMarcus Winbush, the Hope program, of course, when you can meet the Rams this Thursday night at the Dome. It'll be at 6:30 right there in Bluefield, Virginia. The Dome's synonymous with Bluefield football and Bluefield sports in general. The weather's looking pretty decent. Hopefully Ida will get its way through there, and we want to have a good turnout for Thursday night. And then Saturday night, you can see DeMarcus. You can see Coach Lusk, Strickland, and all of them as they get mean and hopefully a win over Thomas More this Saturday night. Don't forget, get the full schedule and learn more about Bluefield Rams sports, all from volleyball, soccer, baseball, basketball, and even the football team, which is going to be on the field this Saturday night in Mitchell Stadium. Kickoff at 6 o'clock. We invite you to come on out, get your tickets, come and enjoy Bluefield Rams football. Thank you for turning in tonight on bcrams.com and online at wherever you may be seeing us for the Bluefield University Coaches Show. Once again, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you Saturday night at Mitchell Stadium, kickoff 6 o'clock as the Bluefield University Rams take on Thomas More. I'm Joey Jarvis, DeMarco Winbush, Coach Lusk, and the whole crew. And a big thank you to Colin O'Donnell for hosting us here at the Grind of Bluefield, Virginia. We'll see you again next week for the Bluefield University Coaches Show. Thanks so much. God bless and have a great night.